Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar, Detect Innovative Cutting-Edge Company on Your Topics. Thank you for joining. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Héloïse Naudy. I am a product consultant at Expernova. If you have any questions, please feel free to use a question tool on GoToWebinar and I will answer at the end. If I don't have enough time to answer your questions, we will come back to you with personalized answers. You can also contact us by email on the following address, contact@expernova.com. In the agenda of today, I propose you to discover through a use case and an online demonstration of the Expernova platform how to detect innovative, cutting-edge companies on your topics. To do so, we will start by obtaining a global vision of the companies working on your subjects. Then we will evaluate the relevance of their scientific and technological expertise on your specific topics and their influence. And lastly, we will see how you can involve your collaborators around your research thanks to collaborative features. But let's take first 2 short minutes to explain and set the context. We are in a very strong transition period. This quotation from Marc Giguet suggests that companies will have to adapt, whether it's to maintain a leading position, to challenge the market, to follow technological evolution, or to specialize in niche market. Each company, according to the life cycle of its product and its positioning, will have to adapt and size its R&D strategy in relation to its overall strategy. Let's see the schema. To sum up this schema, we have on the left the big evolution, then the major challenge that company will have to face, and on the right, the different innovation strategy. The purpose of this webinar is not to develop all these points extracted from the International Survey on Major Developments in the Innovation Strategies observed in leading company, led by the Paris Club of Directors of the Innovation. However, we note the megatrends that reflect a continuous phenomenon such as the growth and the redistribution of population, the scarcity of resources, the global warming, and so on. Megatrends are easier to apprehend as they reflect a continuous phenomenon. Then, the major transition. They represent a radical change unlike the megatrend, and so it is more complicated to adapt. An example is the humanist transition, which consists in understanding the world and its sociological weaknesses and not staying focused on its technological problems. The objective being to better understand the expectation of consumer. Another example is the economic transition or the digital transition. Lastly, we have also to take into account the major risks such as a financial crisis and the rise of protectionism. So how to quickly adapt? First, companies need to access knowledge and expertise. In a context of rapid technological change where companies must meet the needs of differentiation and innovation with regard to its customers and competitors, research and development activities are a real lever of competitiveness. Being able to have a real-time access to the global production of scientific and technological knowledge and expertise is therefore a major challenge. This makes possible to have a global vision of its market, develop its skills in order to anticipate and react quickly to potential technological and market changes. Then, the transition from paper publishing to online publishing has contributed to the data accumulation, particularly in the scientific field. Scientific research produces and publishes huge volume of data. You will find some key figures of this immaterial capital, such as more than 22 million of researchers and R&D engineers in the world, 22,000 articles published per day, 302 million patents delivered per year, and 12 million active patents, and the R&D expenditures are superior to $2,000 billion per year in the world. At Expernova, we offer you an access to expertise through the identification of innovative players. Founded in 2008, Expernova is a big data platform that aims to help you understand the innovation activity of your competitors, partners, suppliers, and customers through the analysis of scientific and technological expertise. How does it work? By tracking and analyzing global innovation works, such as scientific publications, patents, conference proceedings, clinical trials, projects, and millions of targeted web pages, Expernova provides you with accurate mapping of the most innovative stakeholders at a global level, and by giving you access to profile of experts, companies, laboratories, or universities. Expernova creates an innovation graph data model of the experts, innovative companies, universities, networks and knowledge that pinpoint innovation opportunity for every industry. This graph comes from the scientific and technological data collected all over the world, targeting the innovation leaders, linking experts with organizations, and tracking the collaboration. This information is stored in our database model that emphasizes the relationships between entities. Expernova's obsession is connected data. Why using Expernova to identify innovative actors? First, because the database is continuously improved. The Expernova database is unique with its continuous data aggregation since 2008. Secondly, Expernova provides you with a global and multi-sectoral analysis of scientific and technological data. The Expernova database covers three main geographical areas: North America, Europe, and Eastern Asia. It covers more than 400 scientific domains, and it is sourced from more than 300 external databases, such as databases of research institutes, national databases, university databases, thematic bases, and so on. Thirdly, Expernova has a single web interface that gives you access to different types of scientific and technological works. The database includes 5 types of scientific works: scientific publication, such as peer-reviewed article, thesis, conference proceeding, scientific poster, and so on; patents, European collaborative projects, and American collaborative projects; clinical trials, and declarative data, that is to say, the web page and the skill description communicated by organization. So Expernova counts today 76 million of patents, 30 million of scientific articles, 250,000 clinical trials, and 230,000 projects. Between European projects, so FP5, FP6, FP7, and H2020 project, and American projects such as SBIR and STTR projects. Lastly, Expernova updates the database each month. So Expernova gives you a real-time access to the global scientific and technological knowledge through monthly updates. Each month, 1,000 new organizations and 500,000 new documents are added to the Expernova platform. Expernova is the only platform that tracks and analyzes global innovation activity to generate dynamic and rich innovation profiles of organizations and experts. Expernova's innovation profiles summarize the expertise, the experience, and even the influence of innovation players, both at the level of individuals and organizations, whether they are companies or university or research institutes. Save up to 5 days of data compilation with an Expernova profile. You can access 2 structured profiles. By combining big data and human curation, Expernova has created rich and structured profiles that link experts with organizations, subsidiaries with groups, or research teams with universities. This profile shows you the innovation activity. On a single profile, you will have a complete overview of the innovation activity, such as IP, scientific activity, grants, project, clinical trial, and connection. You can easily identify the positioning of their works from early stage projects to industry application. You can easily understand the openness to collaboration, national or international dimension, academic or business-oriented activities, and potential risk of competition. Besides, these profiles explain you why an expert or an organization is relevant on a topic. Expernova gives you immediate insight to understand why an expert or an organization is relevant on your specific topic. The system displays on every profile the player expertise, his experience, his network, and his scientific work, so it provides you with a synthetic overview. You can also compare two players and identify in a few seconds their common skills or specificities. So today, I will take you through a common use case demonstrating how to use Expernova to obtain a global vision of the companies working on your subjects and how to evaluate the relevance of their scientific and technological expertise on your specific topics and their influence. So now let's go through the use case. I am the R&D director of a pharmaceutical company working on the development of breast cancer treatment. I would like to be able to make a watch throughout the year on the actors present on my topic of research, the breast cancer. The objective is to not miss new advances or technology or adjacent markets on which my competitors innovate. And most importantly, I want to watch my competitors who could develop products and technologies similar to mine. So let's switch to the Expernova platform to start a search. So this is the interface of the search interface, and the first step is to start a search on our research topic, the breast cancer. So to do so, enter your topic into the search field, and then click on the Run button to run the query and view the query results. So let's view the search result interface. So the next step is to access information via the search results interface. The goal here is to get a global vision of the actors working on my research topic. So let's first take a look at this results interface for this query on breast cancer. So at the top of the screen, there is a header that displays the current query, and below you can find 6 pictograms combined to a color code that show you the type and the number of results. In other words, Expernova has identified on the breast cancer 102,000 experts who are working on breast cancer. In gray, we have the organization, so it includes both academic and industrial organization, and so Expernova has identified 2,750 organization. Then in yellow, we have the scientific publication, in orange, the patents, in red, the project, and in green, we have the clinical trials. Then below, underneath the header, you have access to lists and graphs. So from the different lists, you can access to the list of experts, the physical person who are working on breast cancer. Then below, you can access to the list of organizations working on breast cancer. So you have a block with the companies, a block with the R&D centers, and the block with the academic organizations, such as the universities of the hospitals. And at the bottom, you can find the list of works related to the breast cancer. So you have in yellow the scientific publication, the list of patent family related to breast cancer, the project, and the clinical trials. Let's move to the step 2. The goal here is to identify the list of companies working on the breast cancer. So to view the list of the companies, you go to the companies block and you click on More. You can notice that very quickly Expernova has identified for you the main company working on the breast cancer. So here is a list of the company working on the breast cancer in all scientific domains and all the countries. Unsurprisingly, we find at the top of the list a major group from the pharmaceutical and food industries such as Roche, Nestlé, Novartis, GSK, AstraZeneca, and so on. Then you can change the organization ranking criteria and apply some filter to the list. So by default, the organizations, the companies are ranked by relevance, but you can order them by alphabetic order or by number of scientific documents, so either the scientific document, the patent, the clinical trials, or the project. Then you can apply some filter to the list. So to do so, first you can apply a geographical filter to target a geographical area. So for example, at the top, we can see that the top 3 companies are established in Switzerland. And by using the geographical filter, you can use a number of companies identified on the breast cancer. So for example, in North America, we can see that more than 1,000 organizations have been identified in the United States. If we go to Europe, we can see, for example, that we have identified in France 165 organizations, in Germany more than 100, and 133 in United Kingdom. So you can apply the filter at the level of the country or at the level of the continent. Then the goal now, so this geography filter gives you an idea of the geographical distribution of business of all sizes and across all domains that work on breast cancer. Now, the goal is to identify the company that work on my subject and in my scientific domains. So to do so, you can use the select topic filter here. And in our case, I will select the life science domain and the human health and pathology. So I check the 2 options and then I click on apply. So by applying the filter by scientific domain, we got the list of companies working on my topic and in my domain. So you have a last filter here per type of organization. And if you want to target a type of organization, such as a startup, for example, you can check the appropriate option. So here, by default, the company filter is already applied, and I can remove the large group to display only the startup. And I click on apply one more time. Of course, you can combine the 3 filters to target a particular type of business in a specific scientific area or in a specific geographical area. So here, by applying the domain filter and the filter per type of organization, we got the list of the startups working on breast cancer and in my scientific domains. And now that we've got a list of startups in my domain working on the breast cancer, you can export it thanks to the export function here. And for example, here I will select the Excel format. And let's have a quick look on this Excel file. So this file contains different information, such as the company name, a description of the company, the contact details, the website, phone number, the address, and also the number of experts and the number of scientific works. So we've just seen how to get a global vision of companies working on breast cancer and how you can build customized list of companies that work on your topics in your domain or in other domain and on specific geographic areas. We also saw that you can target large group rather than startup thanks to the filter available at the top of the list of companies. Now, let's check a company expertise on the breast cancer. And to do this, We will open its profile to access its expertise, its community of experts, its works, and its network of collaboration. So to do so, just select a company and then click on his name to display its profile on the right. So you have different information such as his expertise, and if we open it, we can double check that Roche has an expertise on the breast cancer. Then Expernova analyzes for you why this profile is considered relevant on the subject of your research thanks to the why. In other words, why this company is displayed in the search result. So the why section shows you elements of analysis on the expertise of the profile of the company, such as its experience, how long has it been working on the subject, has it published recently on the subject. So here we can see that Roche has been working on the breast cancer for 32 years, and Roche has recently published on this topic, which shows us that the subject is still relevant at Roche. Then let's move to the people and work section. Here we can answer the following question. Who are Roche experts working on breast cancer? What are the publications or the patents published by Roche on breast cancer? Has Roche participated in breast cancer clinical trials? So here we discover that 304 experts within Roche have been identified as having worked or working on the breast cancer. And of course, this link is clickable, and therefore you can naturally access the list of its people and their profiles that contain access to their expertise and work. We can also access the works of Roche on the breast cancer. So here we can see that we have 9 publications, 127 patent families, and finally, a participation of Roche in 369 clinical trials related to breast cancer. All this information is clickable to allow you to access the details of each publication, patent, or clinical trial. Also, please note that you can access the web pages of Roche websites related to breast cancer. And in the networks and community section, you can access Roche collaboration network on your research topic. So before I show you this collaboration network, I would like to mention the different information you have at your disposal. First, you can access the profile of the organization with which Roche has most collaborated on breast cancer. In this case, it is the National Comprehensive Cancer Network. In addition, you are advised that Roche collaboration on our research topic are located in more than 16 countries, giving you insights into its area of influence. You can also see that Roche has been involved in a collaborative project on breast cancer, and you can see that there is an ongoing clinical trial on this topic in which Roche is also involved. And finally, Expernova has identified for you Roche research units that work specifically on breast cancer. So by clicking on this link, you have an access to the list of Roche research units that work on breast cancer. And obviously, you can access the profile of each one by clicking on its name. So now, let's see the collaborative network of Roche on breast cancer. So to do so, click 261 connection. So here you can easily see with who Roche is collaborating with on the breast cancer, and even better, you can access the details of the collaboration. So you can browse through the collaboration networks of each company and visualize their strategic partner on the subject of your research. You can see with whom they participated to a project and or co-invented a patent or co-published, and you can also access the size of their collaboration, whether it is national, international, academic, or industrial. And finally, you can access the full profile of their partners as well as their expertise. So what do we have? We have a graph with Roche in the middle here. And all over, you can see all the organization with which Roche has collaborated or collaborates. Below, you have the same information under the form of a list. So the advantage of the list is you can apply some filter. For example, if you want to target the collaboration on a specific area. So for example, if you want to see only the collaboration of Roche in the United States, you can apply this filter. You have also, sorry, filter per type of organization. So this one allows you, for example, to display only the collaboration that have been done only with the companies, or on the opposite, maybe you want to see only the collaboration done with universities. So all this information is summarized in the graph here that show you first the distribution by type of organization of Roche collaboration on breast cancer. So here we can see that Roche collaborate at 30% with health institutes, at 25% with universities, and at 20% with other companies. So we can thus conclude that Roche has a network of rather academic dimension. Then you have the geographical distribution of Roche collaboration on breast cancer. So we see that collaboration are essentially made with the US with more than 58%. So we can say that Roche has an international network on the breast cancer. And finally, we can see the list of the scientific areas from which Roche has co-publication come from. So life science and human health and pathology. And now I would like to show you that, so you can see the organization with which Roche has collaborated. And now we would like to see what they've done together. So for example, I want to know what Roche has done with the National Comprehensive Cancer Network on the breast cancer. And to do so, click Open Connection to display a collaboration form that will explain us why this collaboration between the two organizations is relevant. So in the Y section, we can see that these two organizations have been working together for 32 years. They have recently published works on the topic. We can see that they have participated to a common clinical trial that is in progress on the breast cancer, and they have co-published one publication, and they have participated to a common clinical 51 common clinical trial on the topic. So all this information allows you not only to check the area of influence of a company on a topic, but also to discover other actors working on your research topic. So we have seen how to get a global vision of the actors working on the breast cancer. Then we saw how to check a company expertise on breast cancer. And now I propose to see how to detect new companies working on breast cancer through the scientific works. So for this, we will consider the scientific works related to breast cancer. So the access to the scientific works can be done directly by the organization profile, as we have just seen, or via the list of scientific publication, patent families, projects, or clinical trials. By default, each of these lists offers you a top 4 of the most relevant publication, patents, projects, and clinical trials. So I will show you that with the patents. So the patent information is a vast source of technological and legal information presented in a standardized form that often does not appear anywhere else. Patent information is therefore an important resource for researchers and inventors, entrepreneurs and commercial enterprise, as well as patent attorneys. It can help you to understand the innovative activities and future direction of commercial competitors, and it can help you to monitor the activity of potential partners and competitors, both at the domestic level and abroad. So we know that the number of patent fields is not a reliable indicator of the intrinsic performance of a company, but it is a signal of the desire to innovate and to make it known. So to access the full list of patent families on the breast cancer, go to the patent families block and click on more. So you can access the detail of each publication by clicking on it. And just quickly, you have two graphs. So the evolution of the patent family on the breast cancer, and you have also the international classification of patents. This classification has its primary purpose, the establishment of an effective search tool for the retrieval of patent documents by intellectual property offices and other users in order to establish the novelty and evaluate the inventive step or non-obviousness of technical disclosure in patent applications. So it is a mean to search the state of the art in specific area. So let's display a patent. Click on the title. And then what do we have? We have the title of the patent family, the date of the first patent that have been filled in, and the date of the last patent filled in. You have the abstract, and you can find on the right the name of the inventors and the name of the applicant. So it can help you. It's another way by the patent to detect new organization. So we've seen how accessing to the scientific literature can help you detect new companies that work on this topic. So we come to the third and final stage. And now that you have accessed the relevant information, it is time to capitalize on the knowledge gained. So for this, the Expernova platforms allows you to bookmark, export, and share documents. So for example, for a profile, you can export it, share it, and also bookmark it. So that brings me to the end of today's webinar. So to conclude, let's summarize all that we have done. So today we have seen how from a few keywords you can identify in a few seconds company working on breast cancer. We've seen how to apply filters to target a geographical area, an organization type or scientific domain. We applied a filter by organization type to target startups, and we have filtered company by scientific domain to see only the companies that work in the same scientific domain as my company. Thanks to the export feature, this allowed me to make a custom list of companies working in the same domain as me and on the same topic. We have accessed the profile of this company to verify their expertise through their expertise, their experience, their community of experts, and their works on our research topic. We were also able to access the collaboration network of this company on our research topic to check their network and therefore the area of influence. Access to all this information allows me on the end to check the size of the network and therefore the area of influence of the company. It also allows me to identify other companies that work on the same research topic than me. And we have also seen how to identify companies that work on my subject through the scientific works. This again allows me to identify companies working on breast cancer. Finally, we have seen how to capitalize on the knowledge acquired through the bookmark, export, or profile share function. I'm really late, so I'm sorry, but I will take just one question. So what is a family of patents? So in order to be more relevant in the application, the patents are grouped into patent families. This allows us to gather the feeling of the same invention in several areas or an invention and its update. This webinar is now finished, so for the question I did not answer, I will send you a personalized answer. Now it is your turn to use Expernova. If you are not yet a user, please feel free to ask for a personalized demo at contact@expernova.com. Thank you very much for your time and bye-bye.